Hey guys, what's up? So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about midwives. As you saw by the title, I had a midwife. She was amazing. They end up, turning into like your sisters almost. So yeah, when I got pregnant, which I had my son now almost 10 years ago, but when I got pregnant, I didn't know anything. I had just moved here and I didn't know like what hospital to give birth at. I didn't know anything. I've never had a child, so everything was new to me. When I was about 3.5 months, I met my midwife. She had asked me, so what hospital are you planning to give birth at? And I'm like, I don't know, I just moved here. I don't know, what's good, what's bad, what hospitals are good or bad or anything. So she's like, well, if you have me, which, she was a midwife, if you have me, I give birth at this location. So I was like, all right, so I'll just go with that, because I had heard of a few other hospitals, but she had warned me, which I don't know if it was just for her, like part of their gimmick, I guess, so you go with them. She was like, well, if you go to, this hospital, they're quick to give you a C-section, because it's such a good hospital and it's busy, so they're in and out. So she said, but if you go with me, I deliver at this hospital. So I was like, all right, so I'll go to that hospital then. So I ended up getting a midwife, which I was scared at first, because I was like, I don't want a midwife. Like, I don't want to give birth at home. That's what I thought, a midwife was. So, but no, a midwife is literally like having a sister with you through the whole pregnancy without meeting, it's that comfort without meeting that doctor the day of, giving birth, and you're opening your legs to the stranger and it's like, you don't know who he is. She's with you. Well, I don't know if there's any guy midwives, mid-husbands. No. So anyway, she was with me from literally 3.5 months until I gave birth. So, and even after, which the story gets cool. So anyway, so she, I would see her every month or however it is, the further along you go, you see them more often. I had an argument with my sister one day, and I was so scared because Chloe, my dog is like making a lot of noise with the blinds in the kitchen. So anyway, I had a really huge argument with my sister one day, and I had to go to my appointment the next day, but I cried that night because I was like, what if I hurt the baby? What if I scared him? I was just so scared. So I go and I have my first official appointment with her, and I explained to her, I was like, I had an argument last night with my sister. It was really heated, and I'm scared. Did I hurt him? I haven't felt him move or anything. So she goes, girl, he's fine. He's protected. We heard the heartbeat that same day for the first time, and I cried just knowing he was okay. So, which at this point I didn't know it was a he, by the way, but I know, so I cried knowing the baby was okay. And that was the way like me and my sister started talking again after the argument, because I recorded his heartbeat and I sent it to her like, this is your niece or your nephew. This is the baby's heartbeat. Yeah, so she literally would press on my stomach and be like, he's protected. Like, the baby's protected. He's in, this big ball of water. He's protected. You're okay. I had such an amazing pregnancy, and especially because of her, because I would call with everything. Oh, I feel this. Is this okay that this? Can I eat this? They answer the phone for you. They are your lifeline during pregnancy. And being that it was my first, baby, it was such an amazing experience to have, to gone through it with her. I'm pretty sure to try to get in touch with your doctor or a hospital being pregnant, he's either in like delivering a baby, he's in surgery, whatever it is, you can never get in touch with them. But a midwife, you have their cell phone number. You can call them at any point. They're there, which I love. They do all the appointments with you. When you're ready to give birth, they go and they meet you at that hospital, and they are the ones delivering your baby. Unless you have a C-section, then that's a surgeon to do the operation, of course, which I end up having. But anyway, so I went through my 9 months with her. Her name is Stacy. You're the bomb.com, boo-boo. So Stacy was with me the whole time. Like, it was a Tuesday morning. Started having my contractions around like 4 or 5 in the morning. But my husband, so he was doing an overnight. And I had called him in the morning. I was like, I'm really having pains, because I had a dream that I was giving birth, and it turned out it was something real. Like, my pains were just kicking in that hard. I called my husband. I was like, babe, I'm having pains and all this. So he's like, do you think it's time to go in? Should we call Stacy? And I was like, I'm gonna call Stacy now. So I called her. Again, it was 4 something in the morning. And she's like, do you want to go in? And I'm like, no, I'm going to try to hold off on the pain, because I had in my head, I'm going to be one of those moms to make it to the hospital, be 9 centimeters, and I'm ready to go, you know? 1, 2, 3, delivery.
No.
And it was my first, and I think first pregnancies like last longer, I think. So anyway, so I called her. She's like, are you ready to go in? I said, no, I'm gonna try to hold it off for a little bit. She said, jump in the shower, try to put, you know, water on your back, because I was having a lot of back pains. Again, I'm by myself, and I kneeled in the bath, in the shower. It was a stand-up shower in our apartment at the time. So I kneeled in there and I tried to hold off. Around 8:30 or so, my husband gets home, and I'm just like, we need to go to the hospital, I'm in pain. So we go. My contractions were lasting 2 minutes long and coming every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So I was in a lot of pain. I was like, call my sister, call everybody, let them know, you know, I'm going in. But I didn't want anybody to come to the hospital until I knew they were going to admit me. So I go to the hospital. My midwife meets me, and she gives me some pills. Made me walk around the hospital. She said, do not sit down. I tried to walk, but these contractions were hitting me so bad, I sat down. And then my husband's like, you remember, she said don't. And I'm like, don't tell me not to sit down. So I sat down. Anyway, she told me that the medicine was going to help the process go quicker. She said, go home. It'll help you relax for a little bit, but then you'll be back around 6:30, because, you know, he's going to want to come. So she was not playing with her timing. So I don't know if this pill says 6:30 pain comes, because she was on point. So around like 6:15, I was screaming at home, and the pain was getting worse. I go in, I call her again. She meets me back at the hospital, and they admit me. So I wanted an epidural so bad, because, you know, it numbs you basically. You don't feel no contractions. And this is my first pregnancy. The pain was no joke. So I wanted my epidural. And then she was like, you know, unfortunately, we can't give you the epidural until you're at least 7 centimeters dilated. And I think at this point I was only like 2. And I was screaming in pain. She met me at the hospital, and she's the one that gave me my IVs and all my, you know, whatever I needed to hook me up. She does it, nobody else. Your midwife is the one that takes care of you the whole time. No extra nurses, no extra doctor can come in. If anybody comes in to check on you, you can literally go, excuse me, can you get my midwife? Because your midwife sits right there in the front in the lobby and waits for your every call right at the phone. So, which I loved. I loved it. And around maybe like 1, 2 in the morning, I finally hit 7 centimeters, which is now Wednesday. So I get my epidural. Mind you, I did not have morning sickness. I didn't throw up. I had such an amazing pregnancy. Literally, I was in heels every day. I never wore maternity pants. I would just put like a little rubber band around my jean buckles. The button loop. So I never threw up at all. But when I got the epidural, I threw up. I don't know if it was the medication or the fact that it was going in my spine. I don't know. Anyway, so she gave me, so I got my epidural at 7 centimeters. And then now it was just relax. I went, my mom was there, my stepfather, my brothers, my sisters, my in-laws, like everybody was there. I wanted everybody to experience this birth that I was about to have, like the baby, to experience it with me. I wanted to look cute. I went and did my hair and everything. So, you know, I look cute in my pictures and my videos, you know, because I don't want to be all nasty looking back at this. So the afternoon comes, and, you know, my midwife's like, okay, you know, you fully dilated, let's push, which I already knew I was gonna have a C-section, because my mom had all C-sections, my sisters had C-sections, so I would kind of figure like, I know I'm having a C-section, just cut me open, because I was in so much pain going into the hospital. I was just like, cut me open. They was like, no, you can't. I dilated. I ended up dilating. So I go to push, and I push for 2.5 hours. And my son crowned and everything. I had a mirror in front of me because I wanted to see it happen. I wanted to help. I wanted to help bring him out, because I wasn't in pain no more. I was drugged up. I felt good. So I pushed 2.5 hours, and he turned. The umbilical cord was around his neck, and he had turned, so his shoulders weren't going to let him come out. So my midwife goes, oh, you know, we're looking at a C-section. So I was like, all right, guys, we're going for a C-section. I was still so chill, so relaxed. We go into the room to get a C-section, which my midwife couldn't come because she's, you know, she's not a surgeon. So she couldn't come into the room. I go in, have the C-section done, which I think the whole process is about 20 minutes maybe. But I was numb, so I'm singing whatever songs were on the radio. And I remember the surgeon reached over, he goes, are you singing while I'm cutting you open? And I was just like, I didn't feel anything. I hear the babies cry, and I'm just like, you know, oh my gosh. I get back to my room. The whole process was fast, and I feel like it was because I had a midwife. She made sure that once we got back to the room, they did not bring him to the nursery because I was adamant on breastfeeding. I was going to breastfeed. I didn't care about all the stories I heard about your nipple cracking, the baby's gonna bite, you know, whatever it is. I just wanted to make sure if I am lactating, if I'm able to produce milk and he latches on, my main two worries, I'm breastfeeding. Which I did. I breastfed for 1 year and 4 months. I would have kept going to 2 years, but my sister was like, he's already big, his feet are dragging, you know, enough. So, but it's just a beautiful thing. Anyway, so I get back to the room. She made sure that they did not bring him to the nursery because the first thing they do in the nursery is give him the bottle and, you know, formula, and then he probably wouldn't have wanted my breast milk. So, I mean, the whole process went so fast, and again, I feel like it was because of having a midwife. So I strongly recommend having a midwife. I had such an amazing experience, and if I was to have another child, one, I would have a C-section again because I don't want to go pushing a baby out. I would 1,000,000% have a midwife. I strongly recommend having a midwife. It's almost like they're pregnant with you. So it's a beautiful bond to have. But anyway, Stacy, if you even watched this video, I love you. I miss you. We were on the news together. I'll find the link for it, but it was of me having a midwife. We were in the newspaper, me and my son and her and my midwife. We had to like stage this whole, we were in a doctor's appointment kind of thing, and it was for the newspaper. So we were in the newspaper for me having a midwife. 10 years ago, it wasn't really, you know, that popular. So it was a big thing. Like everybody wanted to do articles on us, but it was just a happy story that they chose us. I hope if you're pregnant or if you're, you know, undecisive on if you want a midwife or not, definitely go with a midwife or meet with one. You know, you might not have that connection. I got lucky and I had the connection, so I strongly recommend getting a midwife. So thanks for watching my video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.